Let's break the biggest lies history ever sold us. Number 10. The Trojan horse was real. Everyone knows the legendary tale. Greek soldiers hiding inside a massive wooden horse, gifted to the Trojans as a peace offering. They roll it into the city, celebrate victory, and, surprise, the Greeks pour out at night and burn Troy to the ground. Epic story, right? Except historians say it almost certainly didn't happen like that. There's zero evidence of an actual hollow horse. More likely, the horse was poetic symbolism, maybe a giant battering ram or siege tower used to breach Troy's walls. Over centuries, poets turned military strategy into myth, and we've spent generations imagining soldiers sweating inside the world's weirdest gift. Troy still fell, but not because of a wooden horse, just clever storytelling. Number 9. Sugar causes hyperactivity in children. The sugar rush is one of parenting's favorite explanations. Hand a kid a cupcake and watch them go feral. For decades, parents blamed candy for hyper kids at birthday parties and Halloween meltdowns. But controlled studies tell a different story. Sugar doesn't actually cause hyperactivity. In blind tests, kids given sugar behave no differently than those given artificial sweeteners. What's really happening? Excitement, parties, games, and staying up late create the chaos. Sugar just gets the blame. The myth stuck because parents notice sugar and bad behavior happening at the same time, so they connect the two. Reality check. Sugar may rot your teeth, but it doesn't make kids sprint up walls. That's pure kid energy. Number 8. Vikings wore horned helmets. When you picture Vikings, you see raging warriors in horned helmets, raiding villages, yelling Valhalla. But that image? Total fiction. Archaeologists have never found a single Viking helmet with horns. Not one. Real Viking helmets were practical, simple, rounded iron caps made for combat. The horned look actually came from 19th century opera costumes, where designers wanted something dramatic and barbaric for the stage. That theater myth snowballed into paintings, comics, football mascots, and Halloween costumes so much that even history books repeated it. Truth is, horns on helmets are useless in battle. They catch weapons, get stuck indoors, and make you an easy target. Vikings were terrifying enough without the cosplay. Number 7. Napoleon was short. Napoleon Bonaparte is remembered as the tiny tyrant, so short he needed a booster seat to rule Europe. Reality? He was about 5 feet 6 inches, perfectly average height for a Frenchman in the early 1800s. The Napoleon was short myth came from two things: British propaganda mocking their enemy, and a mix-up between French and English measurements that made him seem smaller than he was. Political cartoons ran wild, exaggerating him into a pocket-sized dictator, and the joke stuck for centuries. Truth is, Napoleon's ego might have been huge, but his height was totally normal. Number 6. Witches were burned at the stake in Salem. When people picture the Salem witch trials, they imagine screaming women tied to stakes, flames roaring around them. But here's the twist. None of the accused in Salem were burned. Every single witch executed in 1692 was hanged. The burning at the stake image comes from European witch hunts, where fire was the standard punishment. Salem's executions were grim enough. 19 people hanged. One man pressed to death under stones, but Hollywood mashed the two histories together, leaving us with the wrong mental picture. The truth? Salem's witches didn't burn, but the hysteria sure did. Number 5. Your hair and nails keep growing after death. One of the creepiest facts people love to repeat is that after you die, your hair and nails keep growing, like your body is slowly turning into a corpse zombie. But here's what's really happening. The moment you die, cell division stops, and growth ends immediately. What changes is your skin. As the body dehydrates, the skin around your fingers and scalp pulls back and tightens, exposing more of the nails and hair that are already there. It's a nasty optical illusion that made early gravediggers and morticians swear bodies were still alive in the ground. The myth stuck for centuries, fueled by ghost stories and horror movies, but science killed it. Your hair and nails don't grow after death. Your skin just shrinks, which might be even creepier. Number 4, the Dark Ages were completely dark. Say Dark Ages, and you picture 1,000 years of ignorance. No progress, no art, just mud and misery. But that's Renaissance propaganda, not reality. The Middle Ages saw massive leaps in farming, architecture, and even science. Gothic cathedrals soared higher than anything Rome ever built. Windmills transformed agriculture, and universities like Oxford and Bologna were founded during this so-called dark period. The myth started when Renaissance scholars wanted to hype their own era as a rebirth, so they painted the centuries before them as backward. Truth is, the Middle Ages weren't pitch black. They were full of light, just not the kind Renaissance PR wanted you to see. Number 3. Dogs see in black and white. For decades, people swore dogs only saw in black and white, like they lived in an endless old movie. The myth stuck so hard it showed up in textbooks, cartoons, even training advice. But science proved it wrong. Dogs actually see color, just differently than we do. Their eyes have 2 types of color receptors, not 3 like humans, so reds and greens look grayish. But blues and yellows stand out vividly. That's why your dog can spot a yellow tennis ball in the grass, but completely miss a red toy lying right next to it. The black and white myth came from early flawed experiments in the 1930s that misunderstood canine vision. Truth is, your dog's world isn't monochrome. It's just missing half the rainbow. Number 2. Swallowed gum stays in your stomach for 7 years. Every kid's heard it. Swallow your gum, and it'll sit in your stomach for 7 years. Terrifying and totally false. Gum is made of synthetic rubber that your body can't digest, but that doesn't mean it lingers forever. Like other indigestible stuff, corn kernels, seeds, it just passes through your digestive tract and exits in a few days. The 7-year myth likely started as a parental scare tactic to stop kids from swallowing gum in the first place, and it worked. Generations grew up terrified of turning into human gumball machines. Truth is, gum doesn't stick to your insides. It just takes the express route out. Number 1. Christopher Columbus discovered America. School textbooks love to say Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. But here's the truth. Columbus never even set foot in what we now call the United States. He landed in the Bahamas, later exploring parts of the Caribbean and Central and South America, and those places were already home to thriving civilizations. Even among Europeans, Columbus wasn't first. Norse explorer Leif Erikson reached North America around 500 years earlier, building a settlement in what's now Newfoundland. The Columbus discovered America myth survived because later colonizers glorified him as a heroic pioneer. Reality? He didn't discover a new world. He stumbled onto one millions already lived in. Bonus round. Humans are descended from chimps. People love to say humans came from chimps, but that's not how evolution works. Humans and chimpanzees are cousins, not parent and child. Millions of years ago, we shared a common ancestor, an ape-like species that branched in 2. One branch evolved into modern chimps, the other into us. Neither species turned into the other. We've just been on separate evolutionary paths ever since. The confusion stuck because chimps look so much like us, and because early science oversimplified the concept. Reality check. We didn't descend from chimps. We're both survivors of the same ancient family tree. So yeah, half the stuff we were taught in school, completely wrong. Which of these myths fooled you the longest, or which one still blows your mind? Drop it in the comments.